Hey everybody, Hershey here. I've got my friend and business partner Zach Anderson. I'm the guy on the left. He's the guy on the right. And today, instead of doing like big long webinar and all this kind of stuff, we've been working together for almost a year now on a lot of local stuff. And we've partnered up on a couple of projects. And he's part of our mastermind group. And we've actually formed a publishing company together. And what we've been talking about over the last couple of months has really become a hot topic for local consultants and local marketers. So instead of doing a whole big webinar, Zach and I are just going to go through an interview process of what's really working right now for local search branding, what it is, and how everything. So Zach, I'm going to bring you out here to discuss a little bit about what is local search branding, how it affects local consultants, and then as you go through that, give people a little background on yourself because I mean, you are probably one of the most accomplished local consultants that I know, in what you're doing in your local area. Plus, you've got some mad scientist skills as well that we're going to cover here during this thing. So let's talk a little bit about what local search branding is and a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, thanks, buddy. Yeah, local search branding. I mean, that's an interesting thing because the way I kind of relate this to everybody is it's I live over in Redmond, Washington, which is right by Microsoft and Bellevue, and we have this magazine that's called 425, and you always open it up and you look through it, and you've got all these dentists and everybody. They're plastered their pictures everywhere, as in like their branding. That's like the
Yeah.
old school branding. And so I've been looking at that for a long time and being like, how can I kind of tap into that and show it in a different way? So once Google came out with some of their authorship, I really tried to dig into it really, really deep, and try to understand how I can integrate it into the local search market. Because I mean, if you think about it, if you can, as a dentist or, even a business owner, if you can get your image to show up in search results and even local search results, and nobody else has that, you're going to have so much of a higher conversion rate and click through. And I actually have proven that with, my clients itself. So, I've been working on this for ever since, Google announced that authorship and really trying to understand how to integrate it in. I've figured it out. So it's something I've been utilizing for quite a bit of time now, and it's just an unbelievable, powerful strategy for the clients, and it's just an easy lead-in for new clients and just upselling your existing clients. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting how it all
Yeah.
works.
So let's talk a little bit about your client base. Obviously, we're going to show some of them up here, some real clients. And you've been gracious enough to talk to them and get it approved and stuff like that. So let's talk a little bit about your business to show how accomplished of a local marketer is and why this is really your bread and butter for your family, really,
Yeah.
and how you were able to transfer this into basically being what you do full time besides play golf all summer.
Yeah, besides play golf a lot. Well, it was kind of interesting. I've never been what you would call the quote unquote internet marketer. I've owned several businesses in my life. I've always been able to just kind of jump from one industry to the next and become pretty successful out of it because I really focus on sales, and not necessarily trying to figure out how to do things. And I think that's why I've been able to become successful at this in a quick way. And one of the things that I found in the very, very beginning when I started only about a year and I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago in doing this is my first client that I had was building a website. And I have no idea how to write code. I don't even really know how to do a backlink very well. So, and I didn't, it wasn't a big deal to me because, I'm like, I can figure out to get somebody to do that. And in my previous business, I actually was already outsourcing a lot, just utilizing some VAs for some work, regular work. So it was a natural transition. And my first client, like I said, I did was a website, which I know you're really into the website stuff too, because we've worked on a lot of things together like that. And I
Yeah.
immediately realized, you know what? If you get a client and you host their site, they're not going to leave you.
Yeah,
So
they can't.
they
They're trapped.
they're trapped. And so that was kind of like one of my little aha moments in the very, very beginning. So from that point forward, I actually fought it. My wife kind of looked at me one day and said, why are you always not wanting to do websites? Those are something that are so easy. I'm like, you know what, I might as well. So that and said, I just started every client I bring on now, I will not take them on unless I do their site. Whether I and where that transitioned into is really this local search branding, which is because you kind of, by having access and control over the website, I'm able to do this in a much more efficient manner and build it into my themes that I create. So, I kind of started out in a little bit of a different thing, not the SEO and the local SEO, because I really don't believe in either of those things. I believe in marketing, and you're trying to help your clients grow their business. And SEO doesn't grow your business. You need to have click-throughs to the website and people call and convert. That's what grows people's business. And so, that's why I really focused on this, because I've been, noticing that what happens typically when people search, they may search for a dentist, and let's just say they search for a dentist in Bellevue, and they say 3 or 4 of them, and they see someone that's got a good reviews. They're going to then go and search that business by name. So if they search that business by name, and then all of a sudden their image and all these other sites show up, that's how you get these people to convert. So that was kind of my philosophy, which started all the way back with a website and making sure you look good and it converts online. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now in full circle. And I've got actually, a lot of themes that I've built specific for a lot of niches and industries. And I know that me and you've been working on that, and it's all integrated with this kind of stuff.
Right. So, a lot of people are like, wow, okay, so you've got a lot of clients, you're building this up, and you haven't been doing it for 5, 10 years, like you said, you've only been doing it for a couple of years here. But let's talk about why they need local search branding, and why it's important to their customers, and people that they're working with, and why a local business needs to pay attention to this.
Well, I mean, it's your reputation. I mean, when it comes to online marketing, reputation is probably one of the most important things, and then being able to see that physical presence. So if you now can start focusing on this local search branding and having imagery showing up and being able to talk to your clients about that, you immediately open the door into reputation, which is something that every business has to have. I mean, every time I start working with a client, the first thing that we do is reviews. I go to their past database. We do all these things so that they have a 5-star review, and not on just Google, on as many as we can get, because that's where it all transitions back to. So then you get to the point where, okay, now let's take it to the next level and include the image. Now you've got a connection with that person. People want to do business with people that they know, and if you have an image showing up that you're the business owner next to your URL, that's going to give that much more credibility.
Yeah, and you're doing that just like the slide says here. Just using Google approved code. You're using what Google's given you to do this, right?
Yeah. So basically, Google, they tell you what to do, but not really. And that's what I've noticed about them. They're like, here, use this code, and this is going to work. And you know what? It doesn't. And so what I've had to do over the last, several months is test it. Where does it go? How is it supposed to be linked? What is, all these different things. And I've done it now to so many different sites that I actually have kind of figured out where it's supposed to be, which, that's kind of the key on the whole thing. And it's really about making sure it's at the proper part of the page, and, all those different types of things, and how you do it. So, that's really what it comes down to, is making sure that you're, yes, using their code, but how you're using their code on the website itself.
Right, and then there aren't many people, and you and I actually saw this a couple weeks ago where it started popping up in groups, and we were like, oh man, we got to really get this out to everybody as soon as possible. Then the holidays and everything come, but and people take some time off for stuff. But what really the difference between having branding and local search branding for a small business is it helps you stay ahead of your competitors when you're making an offer, but also helps the small business where they do get more clicks, and like the bullet says here, it really just makes them go, wow, it's their name in lights. Think of a realtor, a dentist, a chiropractor, that when somebody searches their name or searches for them online, everything that you need to know about them plus their image is right there. Like I've got a pool guy that I'm talking to, or we're going to potentially implement this for, where he shows up at their door, and if they know the guy that's showing up at their door, they've already seen his image, the bug exterminator guy. You know who's coming, and that's a lot of personal branding. It's a lot of peace of mind as well for the consumer. And like we got here on the bottom bullet, you're using this as your only foot in the door strategy right now, right?
Yeah, and it's interesting that you say that, because I've tested a lot of different foot in the store strategies. there's because everyone's coming out with one, right? It's the
Yeah.
latest, it's the latest greatest every single other week. And unfortunately, you have to try a lot of them, and it really does kind of have to work with your personality as well. And one of the things that I always believe in is you need to do something that's really easy. It stands out from the crowd, and you can repeat it over and over again, and it's to the masses, not in a specific niche that has to require a certain thing. And so I always look for those types of things when I'm utilizing a foot in the door strategy, and I don't want it to be difficult. And so this is something that nobody else has. I mean, just go do 20, 30 searches for local businesses on Google, and you will see that very rarely an image ever shows up. And so, I put together a very, very simple strategy that I literally can have my marketing done in like 30 minutes. Done. And I don't do anything. I have a system that I've put together that it's all through direct mail, which I'm a big firm believer in direct mail. It's where I've had almost the most success out of anything I've ever tried. And utilizing that has worked wonders. And this is so outside of the box that when people see this, they're like, oh, and they give you a call.
Yeah, and here's the thing is, you're not around that often. I mean, you and I obviously have busy lives and stuff that we're working together on, but in the end of the day, you're usually out and about doing what you want to do. Half the summer, you're out in the golf course. Obviously, half the winter, I'm out in the golf course. So we're able to do this kind of stuff with minimal time. There's always so many different things, and it's really such a big thing because like you just talked about, it is the ultimate in reputation management. It's brand management. It's what major companies are doing. They're managing their brand. They're putting their logo, their icon. Well, for a small business owner, it's not necessarily their logo. It's their face. It's the person behind the business, and that's what it really is. Because Zach, you're taking branding to the next level, but you've really done a lot of other things with this as well. Because it's an easy sell, and you put the vanity, you put people with the trust factor, click-throughs, and stuff like that. But what are some of the bigger benefits of local search branding that you've seen for the clients that we're testing this on?
Oh, I mean, the one thing I was actually really, really shocked about, and this is one of this person I use in pretty much all of the demonstrations and stuff like that, is a marriage counselor that I do. I've been doing her internet marketing for like the last, I don't know, year or so, and literally I've doubled her business. She literally told me that last time we talked, and when I implemented it on her site, she she got like 10 calls in like 2 days. And I mean, and that was way more than she usually typically gets. And so I went in and I looked at her analytics and compared it, and everything was in the right direction. I think her traffic was up 8%. The click through or the bounce rate dropped. Everything went the right way. So that showed me right off the bat. I'm like, this is definitely something that is very well worthwhile for these local business owners that and especially her. She's a counselor. I mean, a marriage counselor. She doesn't have like a huge staff and all those types of things, and it's a very
Yeah.
intimate thing. Think about it's just like you said with the plumber. Or, I mean, the pool guy. Having that face, and being able to connect with that. And that's why I just think it's so important. It's so big. And, everyone's talking about the reputation management and all these different types of things. And this is truly, bringing it to the next level.
Yeah, it really is, and that's what we're always looking for. Is Google's always changing. There's always things going on, and actually, we're going to cover some ongoing things that we're always looking at, or you're always looking at with the stuff. But I'm going to pull up a couple of search results that you've gotten for your actual customers, and the first one's the one that's up in the top. But this is actually the one we were just talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you always spell my last name wrong because you always go to her and then come talk to me. I don't want to get into that.
It
But,
is pretty funny. I'm sorry. And this is the reason because of her. That's why I always spell your last name wrong because of this one
yeah,
right
that's
here.
fine. So anyway, so this is actually one that you guys can go and type in if if you're watching the interview and stuff. And this is a really cool thing about Zach and why I really like him, other than the fact that we play golf and stuff together and he's a cool guy, is that he does a lot of analytics, a lot of research, and has just like flat out proof with everything. And we basically are going to show you guys some real stuff too, and talk about some trials and tribulations that we have ongoing with this of what we're doing with local search branding. So talk a little bit about all the arrows on here, other than the top ones, obviously, because you guys can just Google that in and search like that, on what they should be looking for and what the difference between what your client has versus what all the competitors have on the first page.
Well, basically, I mean, and this is where it gets really unique. And we all know Google changes absolutely everything all the time. And I'll take you through some of my other clients as well and show you some of the different results. Like this is, I took this screenshot and I think I got this thing implemented in 3 hours. This was like my record. And I don't, I couldn't tell you why it got implemented that fast. But I did the software. I did everything that I needed to on it. I did all my little techniques. And literally, I went back and checked because I was just going to check something else, and it appeared. I was like, whoa. And you notice the one thing about this one is
Yeah.
it appeared. This is inside of the local search. Look at that. This isn't just her regular website. Now I will tell you, you might go search right now, and it may have disconnected because Google does that, and so sometimes they're connected, sometimes they're disconnected. So it kind of really depends, and it's I'm trying to figure out how to keep them constantly connected. And that's always, and that's one of the biggest things that, because I do this for a living, this is what I do for a living. This is where I make all of my money. I will constantly be tweaking and testing this because this is my upper hand. And so I guarantee you I'm going to make sure that I'm staying ahead of this little curve.
Yeah, and then here's the other thing too is they do their own algorithm changes and just test stuff, and you can disappear for 2 days and come back. I mean, you just never know because they don't tell you what they're doing because they're always testing or changing things.
Well, it's funny you say that because I'm in this mastermind with a couple of these guys, and I gave them my tool, and they literally were freaked out. They're like, "That is so cool." They implemented it on all their clients, and we were talking the other day, like, "Oh my God, they all disappeared." I'm like, "Don't worry," because they did. No joke, all of them. They all I mean, we're not talking just my clients, but I couldn't find one on Google. And so they did something weird with their algorithm that basically took the authorship down for the majority of local searches. And literally in 2 days, it came back. So,
Yeah, well,
that
that's funny that it's 2 days, but yeah, I mean that their Google author thing they could have been taken down, rewriting the script or it could be anything.
Oh,
So
it could be a new server bank that they're. I mean, it's so bizarre the things that they do. And the one thing I did notice about this when I've so this client right here, I was able to get it up in three hours, and I wasn't intending to do that. I wanted to get it fast, but I was blown away. I then did two other clients like right after that, and I did the same technique, and I think it took 24 hours or maybe a little bit longer. But you want to know the weird thing about it? They updated at the exact same time. So there's something in their system that's triggering through.
mm, yeah, that's an issue. So obviously you guys can Google it, search it. We're going to do some real results in a second, but let's talk about the bounce rates and talk about the increase in traffic that's on there. If here's one, and this is from November to December of 2012 when we were really testing this pretty heavy, and you and I were chatting about getting this thing going before the holidays and everything came out. But look at the increase in visits, unique visitors. Obviously he's driving traffic, so we're going to have new people clicking through. But the bounce rate was one of the things. Remember when you and I were looking at analytics together live, and I was like, dude, look at that. You're basically having a significant decrease in people bouncing because they know whose site they're going to.
Yeah. It was crazy. I was like, and so I went and looked at a bunch of other analytics, and with local search, it's hard because there's not as much volume, so you don't see the major spikes up and down. But I noticed that across the board that all these they were all looking like this, and I was like, that's pretty impressive, So it tells you something. I mean, the numbers don't lie, right? And so that's one of those things. I mean, imagine, that's a big increase for a local business, even though 7% visitor increase doesn't seem like a lot. I think that's a lot.
Yeah, it's significant for a local business because I mean you're talking 52 more people, 652 versus 604, so that's 48 more people went to this site. If you're only getting a couple hundred people that go to a site in a month, she's taking up a larger piece of that pie in the local market. It's all relative. So to get 8% more visits is huge.
And
So
remember, this is right when I implemented it on her, and this is when she said that her call volume went up drastically. So maybe the regular traffic, because that image was there, has a higher call through rate.
yeah, that may be there too. Yeah, because they just pick up the phone call. So you might not even be getting people. This is the website analytics. So
Yeah,
that combined with people that just pick up the phone and call because they see a face and put a face to a name, that's you're
yeah.
probably boosting that even further.
Mm-hmm.
So all right, so we all know that people can go through and put on images and stuff. So what I want to do now is I'm going to hand you over the screen since we're just doing this little recording on the demo. But I'm going to do a screen swap here with you, Zach, and then let's cover some other of your clients because it'd be a lot faster if we did it this way.
Yeah.
Where I'll give you the screen, and then I'm going to exit out of my PowerPoint so I can see your screen once you can show it, and then
You got.
we'll keep recording this for everybody.
All
So
right.
okay, I can see your screen now. I've got Google up, and it looks like everything is good to go. So go ahead and let's go through some live examples and show what's working, what's changing, how things are going, and let's cover some of this stuff a little bit more.
Okay, so and this is where I want to kind of show you guys how things change so rapidly. So this is actually my wife and I business where we live in Redmond. We have a farm, 6-acre farm, and you'll notice that the our image is gone. And I was actually playing with something the other day, trying to test something out on it. And obviously, I did something to it where it disconnected it because I was probably messing with it. Because that's one thing I've noticed with Google is if you mess with things from when it was working, it'll disappear. But watch this. Now, if you go Washington State horse boarding, you've got it right there. And that's an interior page.
Gotcha. So you were playing around with it on the main one. That's gone, but now you still have the image on the other one. So
Yeah, so
uh,
but it will I did something else and it will come back because this is what the one I play around with a lot.
right,
And
because it's
that's kind
usually
of one
done.
of those things. And so this one it basically was able to it will come back here and again maybe even when you're watching this you just type in these different search terms like Redmond horse boarding and it will probably be connected back again and showing it up like this and usually there's an image right there. But I've got like this one Bellevue elect if I could spell.
I'm the worst with that.
And these are all my clients, and so I hope people don't just barrage my clients because I'm being nice and going through this. You can see, look at this. That's an image inside of the local listings themselves, and that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, and then scroll down and look at everybody else in that search result. So, and by
Nothing.
the way, Zach's showing you guys these as a favor to me because we were like, hey, we really got to prove that this thing works. And he spelt it wrong. He spelled
Yeah.
electrician wrong.
Sorry.
Guy's number two. He's still number two,
There.
but because they know what you want. But what plumber do you think people are going to call? This guy clearly works out of his house because, or sorry, plumbing and heating and electrical for the electrician. Clearly works out of his house because he has no address on there. So I'm assuming that you set up his Google Places account where there's the no address and verified it, but he still has an image. So he's probably getting the majority of the traffic based off that image where people are clicking through. And I think, Zach, I gave you some of that scientific research stuff
Yeah.
where people are clicking on images more and more, and I think we might even include it in some stuff here. But yeah, this is what people want. This is a guy going to your house.
Yeah.
When Roddy comes to your house, you're getting Roddy's picture right here. Who would you trust? The guy that's sitting here with his picture in a professional uniform or the other 8 blank faces that don't exist? Who do you guys think that you would call if you had an electrical problem?
Yeah.
Think of it
Definitely.
that way.
And here's another one. One of my chiropractors. If I can spell.
Don't, yeah,
I'm
I'm the
really
same way.
horrible at it. But look at I got his obviously his business is, I've got an exact match here, which makes life a little bit easier for me. But oops, if I can spell again. But even saying chiropractor, it's still pulling it up and stuff like that. And that's pretty powerful. Doing those types of things. There's another client down in San Diego, and I'm having issues actually with his local listing right now. So it's only his websites sitting up there,
But but where's his website?
right at the top.
Yeah,
Bam.
it's above the local.
Yeah, and it's an image, and if you go, this is the best part. So guess what? All these show up on mobile. So if you type in mobile San Diego tanning, his this will show up above the places. At least it did the other day when I was doing it.
Yeah,
Um,
and again, guys, these all changes, the algorithms change, but this is something that you can type in and just do a quick little Google search and find
yeah,
it.
and I'll show you the disconnection like I talked to you about between, and again, Bellevue Marriage Counselor. I spelled that one right. Um, she used to have the number one local listing and the number one uh, search result here, and Google's doing whatever they're doing, and for some reason it's moved to page 2, but she still hasn't lost any of her traction because she is the number one right there. And she's got her image, so it almost looks like it's a local listing, and that shows up on mobile too as well.
Yep, I just did a search on my phone while we are doing this, and
And
telling
it
me what
showed
it's
up,
showing up
right?
with an image. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
with an
I
image.
got an iPhone, and I just went to the browser and did a Google search.
Yeah, so these images are showing up on mobile. It's crazy, and a lot of times they're showing up above the map result if you can get them to kind of come in there, which is, I think that's a pretty powerful way of kind of going through
Yeah,
things. Especially, I mean, what national business is going to have a an image of a person next to their URL? Not too many.
yeah. This is really like the next level of local reputation management and local search, where you're going to be doing brand management for a business. Because back when, a couple years ago, when we were doing video marketing really, really heavy, it was people knew who you were and they felt comfortable because they had seen you, they see you on video. Well, this is what gets them to your homepage to see those videos now. Is they see the picture of you, they click on your face, they click on your link, they click on the link to go to your website, and then boom, that person's right there with their image. And now they're one step deeper through the process of contacting that small business for the search term that they're looking for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
But
it's amazing.
yeah,
It blew. I mean, I've been playing with this for a long time, so I've been able to do this for a lot of different sites for quite a bit. But I just it's just really amazing when I show it to my clients, and they literally they don't even question the cost.
yeah, and let's talk a little bit about that here in a second. I want to pull up the next slide for this. And as I'm pulling up that slide, I'm going to basically do let's see.
Do you want me to give the screen back to you?
Yep, I'm actually taking it back.
Oh, thanks.
So that's just the way our relationship goes.
You
So
just like to take. All you do is take.
that's right. So, all right. So let me see. It looks like I got everything back up and recording over here. So this is good. So yeah. So the next slide. Let's talk about how easy this is to sell. And we kind of put this slide up as a joke when you and I were talking about it. But let's talk about really how easy this is. Where if you can't convert this, you're probably not going to convert anybody because this is one of the
Yeah,
easiest
I
sales
mean
you
the
can
way
make.
I look at this, and I've been in sales my whole life. That's all I do. I love sales. I love talking, to people in regards to these types of things. And I do what I call more of consultative sales or technical sales, meaning that, I really like to focus on the details of things and really understand what my clients and things like that want and sell that way. But with this is like the proof is in the pudding. I mean, if you can't sell this and you don't have any clients inside of 30 days, or if you have clients and you can't upsell them this in 7 days, I mean, you should either go into just implementing for people or go and do something else, because this was truly one of those, proof is in the pudding. This totally makes sense for the local business owner, and you should be able to kill it with this thing.
Yeah, and let's give them a ready and done for you thing. So let's talk a little bit about what this is and how these guys that are watching this video and watching our interview here, you know, let's talk about the background that you have and how this can be essentially done for them. You know,
Yeah.
this is your daily, like you said, your daily bread and butter. We're real offline marketers. I have two offline marketing companies. You have your own offline marketing company, above and beyond what everybody else kind of here sees. So this is stuff that family depends on you making money online through local marketing, right?
Yeah.
This
I
is the
mean,
one thing that you do.
this is all I do. I mean, this is I've sold. When I first got into the business, actually, I did build a product because I just thought that was what an internet marketer was supposed to do, and so I built a product, and it actually did pretty well on the Warrior Forum, and I think I sold almost a little over 1,000 or something like that. It was a review tsunami or something like that. But what I realized is I did not make very much money off of that. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to support my family by doing this. I need to go make 30 to $100,000 per client. And so that's when I focus purely only on offline marketing for my clients. And so that is why you guys are even seeing this, because I only do things that are going to benefit me in my business. And so,
Yeah, so this means that you didn't just create some idea on the fly, put it together, and set it up. This is something that, you know, just like with our software tools and the stuff that we have, it's stuff that you're using on a daily basis, and that's why it's a constant work or update in progress, right?
oh yeah, I mean, you should see. I probably have 30 to 40 screenshots. Um, of all kinds of different things. And actually, never mind. Maybe I should show you this one at a time of things I was testing. But I have 30 or 40 screenshots of things that I'm doing, like this, for example, like this authorship. And when I get new clients, or I get someone talking to me, all I have to do is send them these images. This I don't have to sell when they're seeing something that's so powerful. And so I utilize this all the time. And whenever I do something, I always try and build a system around it. So I've developed a complete marketing system that's actually probably one of the easiest ones you've ever come across. Honestly, you can go, you can be able to implement this in probably less than a half hour.
Yeah, and you've actually done that. You've gotten results within a couple of days and even within hours. But obviously, things change. Google updates from time to time and stuff. So we're gonna try to make this as easy as possible for you guys to implement local search branding in your business. So here's what you get with our complete, I should say our, because we're both here on the thing, but basically it's Zach's 100% complete marketing system. This is a joint venture that we're doing together with our publishing group, where you're going to be able to have, and we'll put it down below the video interview here for those of you guys that are interested in implementing this in your business. Immediate local search branding software access. You'll have access to the software, be able to start implementing it in your business absolutely immediately. Zach's done a complete training video training series via a membership site that you'll get access to all the proposal and sales contract templates. Because this is being implemented real time in a real business, you're actually going to get the proposals and sale contract templates. Now, we're not attorneys. We don't represent ourselves as attorneys, so go bring this to a lawyer and have them review it, make sure it works for your business. But these are the ones that we are implementing in our business. The lead generation training and software, we're providing the software. Zach uses that as well as some other stuff to do lead generation. So we're going to show you how to generate leads in your local market. And as you can see, some of these verticals, no one else in our industry is really talking about that Zach's gone after, as well as he's converted it into sales. So you're going to see a bunch of different verticals, even newer ones that you can expand your business into. And then here's where it gets really, really interesting. We always have people that want the proof to be able to show to their clients, potential clients and customers. So Zach, I want you to talk a little bit about what a white label video testimony is and some other stuff that you've included in here. That they should really be excited about, because essentially, when we say 100% complete marketing system, we're students of marketing, we're implementing marketing. What have we done here with some of this other stuff that we're going to include?
Well, basically, the counselor, the Bellevue counselor, she's been a client of mine for a long time. She's just awesome. She just gets marketing, she gets sales. And so what she agreed to do, which she did, and she has no problem with it, is she recorded a video testimonial that's generic and has nothing to do with my business or anything. And you will then have access to that to be able to go and go over to Fiverr and get your business put on the front of it and the back of it, and utilize that in your sales. You can also use those results. So you don't have a client, you show those results, say, yeah, we did this, and she has no problem with that. Obviously you don't want to have, can't use her as
People can't be calling her
no,
for referrals.
no, they can't be calling for referrals. You gotta use your brain here. But it's literally a video of her saying, yeah, you got to do this. This makes sense. I had a drastic amount of improvement in my business, and so it doesn't get more real than that.
Yeah, and that's something that with these search results that you can even go in and as Zach and I are updating stuff and he's showing you, you can even say, hey, look, I can get you the similar results to this. I'm using this system, and show them these results and where the images are, and take screenshots and stuff, because stuff goes up and down, as well. But you also need to be able to go out, reach out, and touch those contacts and make sure that they're aware that you exist and what you can offer them with local search branding. So talk a little bit about your postcard templates and trainings and stuff like that too.
Well, basically, like I said, I hate buying courses that are like half-ass and not done. That they're missing a piece, or they take you 4 hours to go through, and it was like, what? That didn't make no sense. So I tried to make this so you could go through it in like I think about I don't know if I probably added all the videos up in maybe an hour, a little bit over. But really, what I did was I think the training on the actual marketing portion is like a half hour, and basically what it is, I give you a template of my postcard. I do it in Word and PowerPoint because I don't even know how to use InDesign and all that other stuff. So,
So
I
really, really simple.
so stupid simple. And then I use some free software from the internet to show you how to capture the images, what to write on them, and then I also give you access to a printer that I've been using for a while that will allow you to send out a postcard one at a time.
So basically, you don't have to have $1,000 marketing budget. You can send out one postcard at a
Yeah,
time.
guess how much it costs?
Like
42
$600.
cents per postcard.
Ooh, I was gonna guess it's 60 cents per postcard, but you're cheaper than that. Wow,
Isn't
that's
that crazy?
ridiculous. And that includes postage.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't
So yeah,
understand it either. So, it's like, yeah, so, it's pretty amazing and going through all that. And who knows, maybe the guy's going to be like, no, we can't do that price. But anyways, it's one of those things that, it's a complete system that
well,
is,
even if it was $1 a
who
postcard,
cares? I mean, seriously, what does it matter? Let's just say you find 100 local businesses using the software that we have that can generate the leads down to a specific niche and city, export that list out, upload it into there, throw your postcards in there. And I've been, just to give you a little bit of background about my direct mail experience. I've probably sent out well over 1 million postcards in my career, probably way more than that. I mean, I love direct mail and I love postcards because I've found that I don't get that much more of a lower response rate compared to just a regular letter. And for $100, if it costs you $1 per postcard, and you get a 2% conversion rate, and you can close at a 50% rate, you got your first client.
yep. And that's the other thing too is we didn't really talk about it a little earlier. What are you selling? And obviously you've got clients you just add this on because of larger packages and stuff. But what is a normal person usually charging, or what would you assume? Because I know we're gonna get that question. You might even cover it in the training, which I'm sure you do. Is what's the cost for the local business to implement this for them? So what do you normally see that it's been a good price point for you with the testing?
Well, I've sold it to my clients from anywhere from $297 a month, or not a month, $297 up front to $497 up front. Now, with my clients that I have existing, I actually don't charge them on a monthly basis. But what you can do with this, which is so ridiculously powerful, is you go out there and you market this, you get someone to call them, and guess what you sell them inside of it?
What's that?
Reputation management. So like, say for example, you get somebody that calls you and they want to do that. Well, guess what? 9 times out of 10, let's just say that there's a person in Bellevue and you search their business name and they have like maybe one listing and nothing else comes up. Well, what you can sell them is an ongoing monthly recurring fee just to sell them online branding, meaning get their website to show up and all the ones below it, get a video to show up, get a Yelp to show up, get all the stuff that we do as a regular basis to show up, and you can charge them a recurring. I mean, you could charge them probably 500 to $1,000 depending on the industry and the niche. But it's like when you search some of those terms, like my wife's Writer's Edge Farm, you saw that there was her website, a 6-pack of the sub pages below that, a video. I think it was the Yelp page, and that's what you can sell. That's an easy upsell inside of this.
Yeah, and it's ongoing branding, and plus a website. Some of these guys are going to have ugly websites. They're going to be like, hey, we're going to get you more callers. I'm getting you more traffic. People aren't calling you on that main website where they're bouncing because it needs to be updated and needs to not look like it's a 1996 website anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
So they get that stuff right.
there's so many avenues to this. I'm actually I'm in the process of testing something else with this. I'm doing a little test, and I'm sending this postcard out, and I'm also sending out a follow-up sales letter on top of that. And I'm actually going to try and not sell this. I know that sounds kind of weird. I'm going to actually try and not sell this, but sell a pretty comprehensive consultation, and use it that way, and not try to actually sell them something out of the gate. Just be like, no, let's do this. I think this makes more sense, and work into a consultation.
Huh. Yeah. So that's a really unique angle that I hadn't thought of. And obviously we do consultative selling, but if you're doing that with two mail pieces, it's going to be a higher end package too. So you're
Oh
able
yeah,
to
and by the way,
huh.
the other thing that I'm doing with that is I'm also doing a voice broadcast in between them.
Yeah, we did that with one of our tests that we ran too with you. So we did
Yeah.
the upfront price podcast and stuff like that. So we're always testing stuff, but things go away, right? So you know we've had changes. Obviously, we've even talked about it here on the interview. We try to wrap this up as we go too, but things change and algorithms change, updates change. So be patient. But another thing that we're going to include with this is troubleshooting with local search results because we're going to be doing it ourselves. Zach's be in there working on some things too. So talk a little bit about the troubleshooting and some ongoing updates and changes and the benefits of being part of this marketing system.
Well, actually, one of the unique things is I actually just recorded a troubleshooting video because I had trouble with one of my listings, and I played around with it and I got it to show up. So I think there was a reason behind it, and so that I recorded something in regards to that and just put it in the memberships area because like you said, things change. And the one thing I noticed about this is you just can't panic. I mean, it's going to go away. They that's just what the nature is of this for some reason. And so you just got to be patient and stay consistent with it. And the troubleshooting is how you can get it to kind of come back, or maybe how you can tell Google or where certain things should be changed so that everything's congruent. And that's really what it comes down to. Because I mean, you think about it this way. Guess what? If they lose theirs, that means I'm losing mine. So I'm going to make sure I'm fixing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing with ongoing updates and changes that you don't get anywhere else is that because this is a real in the trenches business and Zach's living depends on this. Obviously, the chunk of it comes from this. Making sure that changes and updates are updated in that back office. And as we grow our publishing group and things that we've set up, we'll be adding in more and more things there. And then we've even thrown in a little bonus. What you want to talk a little bit about? I don't want to go too far into it, but you want to hint at what your tool is here, or
Well,
what we're
it's
going to
just
add
a
as a
it's
bonus.
just it's a way of telling Google where you are located, geocode, but it's how I place it and where I do it and where I get the information from. I actually have just used that with no schema.org or any of that other type of metadata or hcard stuff, and gotten clients to rank high, just because it's connected to the website that way.
Cool. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up here, and I appreciate you coming on and helping me record this video and really doing it as an interview style because I think that's really the best way to set up. But you just said a bunch of things that I haven't heard in a while too because I really do. It's the HCard, schema.org, all those kind of stuff. For those that are technically challenged, that have been watching this through the entire time, obviously there's a 7 and 30-day money back guarantee for your current clients and 30 days if you don't have a client to get a new one to make sure that you can get somebody in this system. And realize everybody gets a 30-day money back guarantee on it, but we're basically saying that you should be able to sell this to a current client within 7 days. Otherwise, you're really not selling them, or they're probably a family member or something like that. But how technical do they need to be? Because we've kind of both have hinted at we're not really technical. Obviously we know some stuff, we've learned things over the years, but all those fancy things that you just said, talk about geocode and H cards and schema. How technical does somebody have to be? Can they be relatively new, show a couple of these examples, and be able to sell and implement this thing with relative ease?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think it should. I mean, okay, this is the way I look at it. If you are a local offline marketer and you can't do this, you shouldn't be an offline local marketer. Flat out.
Fair enough.
You
Okay.
shouldn't. I mean, you have to have a bare minimum skills in order to do this. So and this is basically the bare bones skills, which is basically me and you. I know I've asked you sometimes some questions. You're like, I don't know, and we're
Yeah.
looking at each other like, yeah, neither of us know how to do this stuff. We need to call our developers up.
Yeah, exactly. So, but we know how to do the basics. We get out there and do it. So, obviously, to grow and scale a business, we need to know the basics, and that's what we know, and then we know who to call after that.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
but if you're just getting started, there is a learning curve. I didn't know WordPress 2 years ago. Now I have a WordPress hosting software platform that does everything all in one. And can I edit pages and do stuff? Yeah, absolutely. But I learned that. I put the time in. So, but what we've given you with this complete marketing system is the A to Z, the complete soup to nuts of it all. Throwing just all the platitudes out there for this, but really, Zach and I wanted to make sure that you got everything that you needed to feel confident that you knew what it was, could sell it, and then once you made the sale, and you actually had all the additional tools and stuff to show proof that it does work. Once you made the sale, you know how to do it, and then
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, which is super important because this is the one thing that just annoys the all get out about me, is so many people come up with these products, and then you do the sell, and then you have to basically figure out how you're going to collect the information from the individual.
Oh
And
yeah, I forgot about this. Yeah.
so what I did was, I love Jotforms, or Jotform.com, whatever it is. I use that for a lot of my stuff. I'm a heavy Infusionsoft user, but they only allow like 100 extra fields, so I go to Jotforms to get all my data collection. And so what I created was, when I have one of my clients or a new client that needs to get this branding, all I do is I send them my Jot form, which gives me all of the information that I need to have my VA implement this on the site. And so what I did was, I shared the Jot form and called it a specific thing. So when you get access to the membership, you can go and sign up for a free Jot Forms account, search the community, and clone my form.
There you go. And you probably show them how to do that. I remember yeah, you're the one that turned me on to Jot Forms. I was like, dude, I can't believe it's free. You get up to like 100 search results or 100 in data inputs a month or whatever. So mine costs like $10 a month for this thing. But I mean, that was my money making tool of 2012. It was a great survey tool, set everything up, and then we implemented it in our business as well. And I put I put that in some of my courses that we talked about here, middle to end of the year last year. So if you guys want to know where I got that from, I actually got it from Zach, who sent it to me. And was able to share with you guys. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. It's all done for you. We'll put all the information down below the interview video here. If you're interested, you can review everything. You can go back, watch this. We're not going to do anything, where we get in the system and it doesn't work or disappears, whatever. This is fully supported. We've actually had it up for a month, but we hadn't had time together to actually go through, record this video, and show you guys things, and we added a few more things into it since then, so you guys really benefit from it. So go ahead and grab it. You've got 30 days to try it out, see what it is, to implement it in your business, and we wish you the best of luck, and we'll talk to you guys all soon. So Zach, thank you so much for doing this quick little interview on local search branding. I think I know it probably took up a little bit more than we thought, but I mean, people are going to benefit from it, and they're going to really see some good results. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome. Take care, guys. We'll talk to you all soon, and go ahead and grab this local search branding course and software and all the tools you need to sell it, because it is a great add-on for your business. We thought about not putting this in the public, but we figured you guys would probably benefit greatly from it, and it's not going to get into too many hands. So we'll all be out there with clients making money in different verticals.
I know. I really did hesitate on this one, and I don't hesitate on very many things, but I was like, man.
I know. So if I had to twist Zach's arm to say, look, this is something that our customers, our clients, our subscribers, and our friends subscribers need, then this is something you guys want to get out there. So thanks, Zach, so much for sharing this, and guys, we look forward to working with you as part of our new publishing group that we're forming, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.